Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Way Up Trading. Now today I want to actually just discuss one thing with the AMC community and something that I actually want to pose as a question to the AMC shareholder of Investor Connect location. You let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Speaking to you guys directly, it's something I've been watching in some of the AMC theaters I've been to. I've seen a couple movies over the last few weeks, easy, between Oppenheimer, saw Little Mermaid with my daughter not too long ago. Also, just a few movies back to back. I'm not going to name all of them right here. However, there's a lot of space that's untapped inside of the AMC theater, and it's something that I really want to try to at least make clear as another form of revenue for the company. I do want to see the company succeed and start turning a profit, and I'm thinking about actually going into mention to the board that something has to be done in order to create more of an experience inside the theater. I've seen in the past, you may have seen them also, where there are pop-up photo booths or pop-up photo shops and stuff like that people actually pay in order to go take selfies inside, or professional photography could be done within those spaces, or just basically renting out areas within those large facilities that AMC actually pays rent on, and being able to sublease these to other smaller companies to do a couple different things, whether or not it's selling coffee, whether or not it's selling other things, other avenues, just a different revenue stream. The way I look at it actually was almost kind of creating like a Universal Studios type of feel inside the AMC theaters, maybe small amusement park type of setups, because there's entirely too much space that's not being utilized inside some of these theaters. I know they do have little video game booths, I've seen stuff like that, but I feel like they should be geared more towards around the movie going experience, like things that are actually themed to the movies that are in the theaters at the time, like a Barbie. There's no reason why we can't have a little Barbie playhouse inside of one of these areas, on one side of one of the AMC theaters, and people utilizing those type of things just as a pop-up shop type of deal, just to, again, further promote the movies, but at the same time further promote AMC. I feel like the two should go hand in hand and should work together, and creating these types of opportunities, I've seen them in the past. I've actually even gone to one or two out in New York. There's a lot of different locations that it was actually a cool thing to do for a little time, where they'd have these pop-ups and you just go in and take photos. You're posting the photos up, and those photos are now giving more awareness to the movie, but at the same time, in this case, we'd be promoting AMC, promoting the actual company where the movies are being shown. So it's just something I would like to post, and I'm actually going to make sure that I post that with the Investor Connect platform, and possibly try to put it in a way where it can be discussed and at least looked over or looked into. And just we're looking for your comments, looking for your questions, concerns, see if there's any way we can actually start to put our heads together and find different revenue streams. I know they're doing things with popcorn, things like that. That also is another thing that's in mind here for me. Looking to take the popcorn situation and actually utilize that as a way to have more of a loyalty program for moviegoers to actually benefit by collecting popcorn tags or popcorn tops. You've probably seen this type of style move with like a Six Flags Great Adventure or something like that, where they get the cans, and they keep the little Coke cans or whatnot, and they use those in order to get discounts to attend the theme park. Same concept would apply, using the popcorn as an outreach or a public outreach to promote the brand, promote more moviegoers to now coming to the movies based upon the amount of popcorn that they actually purchase. I want to know how they're using the popcorn as a way of driving people back into the theaters, which is the bread and butter of the entire company. A lot of questions surrounding around this thing. I want to make sure I post these in the Investor Connect, but also want to hear from you guys to see if you have any things that I should possibly put down. I don't know if you were discussing anything as well or thinking of any ideas. Put them down in the comment section. Let's try to create a little bit of a forum here to see how we can promote the company moving forward towards profitability. And I want to hear from you guys. So leave something down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you like content, so we got earnings coming up on AMC going into tomorrow. We are entered into a few $6 calls for the week, and I want to see some things actually start to move in the right direction. We're going to go over the charts today just to be in preparation for what we can expect possibly going into tomorrow. Going to look at APE a little bit more in detail to see what we can kind of forecast going into the earnings call. Got to make sure I do advise to be careful, because it is very risky not having the details on the decision with the court date stuff. So do be careful if you are playing options on this particular stock, because it is still in a volatile position, and there are a lot of sell orders and manipulative tactics that are still being put in place to keep this thing from moving the way it's supposed to. But we're gonna look at the charts real quick, go over what where we stand and what we could see potentially going into the earnings call. Gonna do all that and more right after this.
Squeeze it!
Squeeze it! Squeeze every penny!
Squeeze every penny!
All right, so I'm going to start off with APE. We're going to take a look at APE real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart, starting off with the 4-hour. And just taking a look here, the APE chart to me is looking pretty bearish, to be completely 100% honest with you. Now, I feel as if the way I see this looking, and I still do believe that they're playing the arbitrage setup, and it's starting to get a little bit overcrowded to one side. In my opinion, a lot of people are thinking that APE is going to be the one to run. So in this particular case, what you're finding is a lot of folks buying into APE, and generally that doesn't usually work very well. When it's that obvious, that's exactly when they pull the rug. So in my honest opinion, I feel that they're going to rug pull APE. And right now you can see I got the 4-hour chart pulled up. This is a harmonic setup, as well as the smooth moving averages I do keep here, as well as major crosses, including the 13 and 48 crosses, as well as the 921 crosses. And taking a look here, we did get a 921 cross here to the downside at the beginning of August, and we are still in a bearish pattern here. This is a deep crab pattern. We did get our high roughly at about the 235 mark back in July. That actually wound up getting rejected. We had a second push up to about 215 back again at the end of July. That got rejected. And now we had that huge run downward after having the run up on AMC. You can see it almost had a double bottom type of setup here, all the way down to 69 cents before pretty much erupting back upwards that same day, back up to roughly about the 150 mark. However, that, in my opinion, showed a sign of weakness. Now, it makes sense if you look at it logically. APE would actually still wind up being the lifeline to AMC raising capital until things change with whatever the decision is on a lawsuit. So in order to continue to try to play out the short thesis, they do want to bankrupt the company. That's how the shorts win. That's how shorts basically pretty much put the nail in the coffin in order for AMC to go bankrupt, which allows them to win, which allows them not pay any taxes on the gains that they earn from actually choking the company out. So in this case, the way it looks to me is that the obvious idea would be to, again, it's very crowded on one side. Rug pulling it to actually pull liquidity from it would be the more obvious choice. And at the same time, they actually would disbenefit AMC in order for it to be starved of capital. So in the inverse, AMC I expect to run up, because the value at that point would then become more prevalent. So what they've been doing in the last couple of days is that they've obviously been, as the price on one goes down, it's then made up on the other chart. So we'll see APE pull back 5%, but AMC runs up 5%, or vice versa. Yes, the floats are a little bit different. However, they play with the opportunity on both sides in order to get whoever is holding either stock to flip directions, or flip the ones that they're choosing to go long or put most capital into. So it's just the way the game is played, and you got to be very careful playing both sides of the fence. So in this case, my opinion, APE is going to come down one more good time. So it's just the way the game is played, and you got to be very careful playing both sides of the fence. So in this case, my opinion, APE is going to come down one more good time. I don't know if it's going to go as low as 69 cents, but I do have a target to the downside right now, sitting at $1.62. We did go ahead and break the smooth moving average, which is sitting here at roughly about the 177 mark. You can see we closed at 177, and in after hours you're already down about 113%, an additional 113% going into the earnings call tomorrow. I do expect this to most likely hit that 162 level by tomorrow, going into the earnings call, and we're gonna see how things actually play out from that point forward. It's gonna go a little closer to see if there are any other opportunities we can actually watch. Just pay attention to your APE position, because right now I do believe it is in a bearish momentum style move. All right, now taking a look at the chart for AMC. This is a 6-hour chart I'm looking at here, just to get a clear idea of what's happening in a longer term type of fashion. And you can basically see that I'm setting up here. This is the longer run that we had, the 100% run we had the other day. $8.64 took place on that run up. We had a accumulation style setup here. I have my order block set up here so you can actually see what types of buying are actually happening and where the sellers are waiting to knock this thing back down. $10.02 in this rough area is where the optimal price would be, where the sellers are actually looking to knock this thing back down if we do get a run. Strong possibility for me to actually be in these ranges by the end of August, and in higher range by the end of September. In this particular case, we are now looking to break this smooth moving average here, which is sitting roughly around 518. We almost broke it. We were rejected today, with a high today being about $5.28. You can see how the reaction to the upside took place right after crossing this line. This is why I definitely urge anyone who's looking at charts input this type of indicator on your charts, the smooth moving averages will give you a nice idea of where the momentum and where the major resistances are. But the natural next location I'm looking for, I mentioned this on Twitter earlier on today, it's going to be 561. I want to see a 561 touch at least minimum going into tomorrow's earning. I believe that's the area with this type of pattern we have here. This is a deep crab bearish pattern off of this move, which is a reversal pattern off of the head and shoulders. We have this move here to the upside. This again, buyers all knew what was happening. They were stepping in this area between 450 to about 512. Things look like they should press up past this type 2 area after hitting this high the other day. After that 100% run, this is considered the zone of reversal. Zone of reversal basically means that we're looking to reaccumulate to possibly move higher as long as the volume supports the move. So we are looking for this return up, and that's really what we're waiting for. I don't know why it didn't happen today. Again, the tactics that they have out here are out of this world. So we only can do what we can. All we have at our disposals are the charts and where the charts lie. And this is what we're playing with. So the volume delays, can't really do much about that. All we can do is just play the charts for what they are. And right now, my next goal is for us to hit above 532. And then from there, start to hit towards 561, which is that major level to get started to push toward the $6.13 mark, which is the holy grail line, in my opinion, to get out of this accumulation zone to start to mark up. And looking again, you can see that the order blocks are set here. These are sell orders waiting to continue to hold us in this area. On the 3-day chart, 613 is the level that we were rejected off of regular trading hours, not including the aftermarket hours that took place where we ripped a lot higher than 613. But you can see that there was a rejection there, and it brought us back into this order block. The buyers have been waiting. This was a triple bottom setup that we talked about that has been pretty much very well seen, and everyone's very well aware of it at this point. But now we're trying to break back above this order block where this ends at about $5.84. We get that 562, 561, 562 break. I'd be looking to break this order block at 582, start making our way towards 613. And that style move would be needing to see in order for us to get to at least 919 this month. So in my opinion, like I mentioned before, APE dumps. APE will go down. I'm expecting APE to hit 160, possibly even 150. AMC will come up until we hear something more about what's happening with the news on the case, what's going to happen on that with Judge Zern. And I believe that AMC will be the more valuable play until we actually hear what happens with Zern. So pay attention to this thing. We're going to see how things play out going into tomorrow, going into the earnings call. But I do see upside on AMC for this point in time. Volume, I believe, will start to pour into tomorrow. However, it won't be the volume that it's capable of having. It's just going to be a situation where it's going to be a pretty much delayed setup, a delayed type of move, a delayed type of run. But I do expect to see some nice movements to the upside, potentially somewhere around a 10% day very easily. And then from there, just a kind of a hold up in that range. Hopefully we can touch that 561 level we talked about a little while ago. But we're going to see how things go tomorrow. Make sure you're protecting yourselves on these particular calls if you're in those calls. Myself personally and a lot of folks on the Way Up Trading team, we're involved in $6 calls going into the end of this week. We're also involved in 18 calls for $5, so we're well into the money at this particular point, which we had those way back. If you have any questions, comments, concern, hit me up in the comments section. Let me know what's on your mind. Like, comment, subscribe. Join us on the Way Up. We'll be here every single day, growing our portfolios together and making the outcome income 2023. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace.